The UFC lightweight division is stuck. After Paddy Pimblett's win over Michael Chandler at UFC 314, he's probably one fight away from getting a title shot. But this division is a mess right now. Islam Makhachev doesn't want to fight Ilia Topuria. He wants to fight JDM if he beats Bilal Muhammad. Ilia Topuria only wants to fight Islam Makhachev and nobody else. Charles Oliveira doesn't want to fight Ilia Topuria. Arman Tsarukyan hasn't fought since he had to pull out of that fight against Islam Makhachev. And Justin Gaethje is even trying to make himself a case to get a title shot against Islam Makhachev. And I feel like the UFC has to make Ilia Topuria versus Islam Makhachev happen. I think this is the fight that the fans want. This is the fight that the UFC even wants. But I feel like Islam Makhachev is giving them a hard time. And the UFC is giving this guy a lot of leverage right now. Like, Islam Makhachev is literally making them wait to see what happens at UFC 315 to decide what he wants to do. But I'm pretty sure he wants to move up to welterweight. But I feel like these are the fights the UFC have to make. I'm going to give two scenarios out. First scenario, I'm going to give if the Islam Makhachev versus Ilia Topuria fight happens. These are the fight to make. You have that fight happen for the belt. Arman Tsarukyan versus Paddy Pimblett is the fight to make. Paddy Pimblett, yes, he's shown that he's good, but I want him to fight somebody who's elite and young. I'm tired of him facing old heads, and I don't want him to fight Justin Gaethje. I want to see him get tested. I want to see him fight against somebody who is elite in Arman Tsarukyan. And if that's the fight that the UFC wants to make for the title shot next, I think that's the fight to make. I think Paddy Pimblett right now has a lot of star power, and the UFC is going to push him no matter what. So I think that's the fight to make. You make Charles Oliveira wait for the loser of that fight. The reason why I'm making Charles Oliveira wait is because he lost to Arman Tsarukyan in a really close fight, and his win over Michael Chandler is not as good anymore after Paddy Pimblett destroyed him in 3 rounds. So you make Oliveira wait for the loser of that fight. You rebook Dan Hooker versus Justin Gaethje because I feel like that's the fight to make to, level out the division. Dan Hooker at 6, Justin Gaethje at 3, and I feel like that fight is still super fire, super good. I still want to see that fight. You make Dustin Poirier versus Max Holloway. I feel like that's Dustin Poirier's retirement fight against Max Holloway. I know they already fought twice and Dustin beat him the first 2 times, but I feel like Dustin wants to go out, winning, and I feel like the UFC wants him to do that too, and they know this is the only fight that's going to happen, and the only fight that probably, Dustin Poirier has a chance of winning. Now, if Islam Makhachev fights JDM, if JDM beats Bilal Muhammad and the UFC says, you know what, move up to welterweight and fight JDM, then these are the fights to make. You make Ilia Topuria versus Arman Tsarukyan for the lightweight belt. I feel like Islam Makhachev is not going to go back down to lightweight anymore. If he does, though, then that's going to be the interim belt. But I feel like this is it. I feel like Islam Makhachev doesn't want to fight neither Arman Tsarukyan nor Ilia Topuria. He's just going to be straight ducking those guys, and he's going to go to welterweight. Now, you make Ilia Topuria versus Arman because I feel like that fight is going to be amazing. 2 young studs going at it, man. 2 elite fighters. That's going to sell pay-per-views. The next fight you make is Paddy Pimblett versus Paddy Pimblett versus Charles Oliveira. This is kind of like the only fight to make. They're both coming off a win against Michael Chandler, and I feel like, Oliveira still has a chance of beating Paddy Pimblett. I know Paddy Pimblett has shown that he's good, but I feel like Charles Oliveira is way better. He's way more skilled, and I would like to see that fight happen. It's a good test for Paddy Pimblett regardless. I feel like you still rebook Justin Gaethje versus Dan Hooker. That's the fight to make regardless. I don't know why the UFC is taking so long to make this fight, and it's probably because Dan Hooker is looking for a fight pretty soon, and Justin Gaethje fought not too long ago. and you still make the Max Holloway versus Dustin Poirier fight, it's the fight to make regardless. It's going to be really interesting. I don't know. These are my thoughts at the lightweight division. It's a complete mess right now. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. But I'm JNEPS MMA. Like and subscribe, and I'm out.